Hi, my name is Ronan Smith. I work IT support at APC Dunleary, and today I'm going to talk about SharePoint and how to get the most from the service. I will be talking about various topics. These will include groups, subsites, user errors, and a helpful little app which will come in handy for any unwanted software on your PC. So, every user on SharePoint has been assigned to a group depending on what your occupation group is. These groups are the following: directors, engineers, finance, health and safety, human resource, project managers, PSO, site admin, SharePoint admin, and USA sites. So depending on your occupation, that's the site you have access to, or it may be multiple sites. A user may be involved in multiple groups too. For example, the test SharePoint user is part of multiple groups, meaning that this user has access to more than what only engineers have access to. So if I show you in the permissions tab here, test SharePoint, you can see the type of permission that the user has. So you can see the user is part of the engineers group as well as the project managers group. So this shows that a user can be part of more than one group. So it depends on what your occupation is. Now, I mentioned earlier that one of the topics which I will be talking about is subsites. And you might be wondering, what is a subsite? A subsite is a site created within the main team site. So all these sites that you see here, every one, including ones from the drop-down menu, they're all the subsites. And the reason why you might want to have a subsite is so everything's more organized and it's easier to find your data. Now, if you like, you can have a subsite within a subsite. This helps once again to make the subsite more efficient and easier to find your data, and it stops the need for having an unnecessary amount of folders on a SharePoint subsite. An example of this can be found in a small subsite that I have created. Now, you won't be able to see this because I have set permission, so only I have access to it. So here's the little project subsite that I created. And if you have a look here, this is like the little home screen, and you can see here I've got one option here called subsite 2. So when we click in here, I currently don't have any documents in here. However, I just created just to show, give a better understanding on what it's like. Instead of having folders and folders of data, you just have another subsite with whatever data you require in there. So it's just to make things easier. So one of the first errors I started to count when I started working on SharePoint back in at the start of February, when I first started working here at APC, was for an end user was I couldn't sync my data to SharePoint. And the reason for this was when my password expired for the Microsoft OneDrive for Business, and when I went to try and sync information from one of the subsites to my PC, I couldn't because it was bringing up this error, which I will show you is here. This error. Now, this was finding me very annoying, really annoying, and I couldn't figure out what's causing the error. So I ran this little wizard, and when you open this, it brings up a login box. And it's very simple. All you have to do is you follow the wizard, read instructions, download it, click yes on the screen, and you continue. And then when you get to the end, you should have it. So this is just it here again. So you download, you get your error. This is a little wizard you can use to run the site. So you clean the OneDrive for Business cache, read instructions. Now it says it's resolving the issues, and then it fixes the issue, clean OneDrive for Business cache. And as you can see here, it has a little fix icon, so that just shows the proof that the error has been fixed. And so this just means it gets rid of the old cache, so any sort of temporary, very temporary storage, so you can sync your files and you no longer have this issue. Now, one of the small apps which I find to be very helpful, which can be especially helpful when working on SharePoint or a computer or anything, is it's called Should I Remove It? It has its own little app, which if you look here, is here. So, for example, there's a link, Should I Remove It? If you want to go to the site. The idea is it gets rid of bloatware, software that slows down your machine, software that you don't need, or you might think, oh, it might come in handy, but 9 times out of 10 you don't actually need software, and you can actually just get rid of the software. So here's just a little image just showing the number of people who get rid of the user, and if you really need it or not. And if you don't, that's great. And if you don't need to get rid of it, fine. But if you do need to get rid of it, but you're not sure, you can look at the list of all the programs that are installed on your machine and then go and delete. So I hope you've enjoyed this little presentation of mine. I've certainly enjoyed talking about it, and any questions I'll happily answer. Thank you very much, and good.